My name is Paul Jolly.
ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ ਕੌਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਫਾਸਟ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਰਦਿਕ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਰ ਸ਼ਨੀਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਲੰਡਨ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ। ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਚਾਹ ਦਾ ਕੱਪ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਰੈਡੀ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇਖਣ ਲਈ। ਚਾਹ ਤੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਯਾਦ ਆਈ ਕਿ ਚਾਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਬਣ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਆ। ਆਪਣੀ ਚਾਹ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਗੁੱਡ ਨਾਈਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ। ਕੁਝ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ, ਕੁਝ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ। ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭਾਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ I welcome you all. As promised, we are here on Saturday morning, the 27th of June. ਜਿਹਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚਾਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਮਟਾਈਮਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਫਰੈਸ਼ ਹੋਣ ਲਈ, ਸਮਟਾਈਮਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਟਾਇਰਡਨੈਸ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਚਾਹ ਬਣਾ, ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹ ਦਾ ਕੱਪ ਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ। ਕਿੰਨੀ ਦਫਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਿਰ ਦੁਖਦਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ। ਸੋ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਚਾਹ ਇੱਕ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਇਨ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਨ। ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਪਾਰਟ ਆਫ ਦ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਲਾਈਫ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਚਾਹ ਗੋਜ਼ ਅਲੋਂਗ ਵਿਦ ਦਿਸ। ਚਾਹ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ, ਉਹਦੀ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ, ਇਫ ਆਈ ਗੋ ਬੈਕ ਐਂਡ ਟਾਕ ਅਬਾਊਟ, ਅਗਰ ਇੱਕ ਚਾਹ ਵਾਲਾ ਰੇਲਵੇ ਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਵੇਚਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਬਣ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਕੁਝ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਹੈ। ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣੇ, ਪਰ ਯੂ ਬੀ ਸਰਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਟੂ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਗੈਸਟ ਹੈਗਾ, ਹੀ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਪੈਸ਼ਨੇਟ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਟੀ, he is so crazy about tea. ਇਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਪੋਇਟਰੀ 'ਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ he become a poet as well. ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਬੜੇ ਅੱਛੇ ਅੱਛੇ ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦਾ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਰਾਇਲ ਟੀ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਰਾਇਲ ਟੀ। ਡਿਲੀਸ਼ੀਅਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਟੀ ਲੀਸ਼ੀਅਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਹਰ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੋਇਟਰੀ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਆਈਲ ਗੋ ਸਟ੍ਰੇਟ, ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੈਸਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਾਈਏ। ਆਪਣੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਵੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਣੇ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਪਾਲ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਚਾਹ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ।
ਚਾਹ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਊਅਰਸ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਰਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਲੈਟਸ ਟਾਕ ਅਬਾਊਟ
ਬਟ ਆਮ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਗਰੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਸਬਜੈਕਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਜੋਏ ਕਰੋਗੇ। ਥੋੜਾ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਟਿਵ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨਲ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਫਾਇਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਦੇ। ਤੇ ਆਈ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਰਵੀ ਸੋਨੀ, ਲੰਡਨ ਚਾय ਵਾਲਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Sat Sri Akal to both of you and to all your viewers. Let me start by saying I'm not a celebrity, but I love publicity. I've written a special poem for both of you. It goes like this: Blessings Cup. A cup full of blessings I send your way. My specialty has come to say, you are thought of with love and care and kept in many a daily prayer. I always pray your heart is light and Guru Gobind Singh is with you day and night. Whatever you do, wherever you go, your blessings cup will overflow.
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ, ਥੈਂਕਸ ਸਰ।
ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ ਇਹ ਹਰ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੇਗਾ ਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ, ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਟੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਗੇ। ਇਹ ਬੜੀ ਖੂਬੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ। ਪਰ ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ ਵੈਸੇ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਵਿਊਅਰਸ ਨੂੰ, ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ I was working with some retail company, every hour on the hour ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹ ਪੀਂਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਘਰ 10 ਕੇ 12। ਸਵੇਰ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ 4:30 ਦਾ ਕੱਪ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਦਾ, I must have that. ਜੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਵੇਰ ਚਾਹ ਨਾ ਪੀਵਾਂ, I get a headache.
ਭਾਲ ਜੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਸ਼ੌਂਕ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਸੀਗਾ ਚਾਹ ਲਈ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲੋੜ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਸੀ?
ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਆਪਸੀ ਦਾ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਐਡਿਕਟ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਉਹ ਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਨਾ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਕਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ ਬਗੈਰ ਰਹਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਚਾਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਾਨ ਹੈ।
ਮੇਰੀ ਹੈ। ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਨਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਸਿਵ ਸੇ ਡਰਾਈਵਸ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਸਿਵ ਕਾਰ and he's got a very expensive number plate to go with that. I think before we touch the car and the number plate, the first important actually important ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ important ਮੇਰੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਗੱਲ ਆਈ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ the head ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ sorry ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਬਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਦਵਾਂ, you can see the number plate. He drives a very expensive car. I will not mention how much it cost him, and a T1. Now, if you know about number plates, if you go one letter after any letter, it's one of the most expensive private number plates on the market.
It's only on the 3 cars, I think.
ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਸੀਗੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈਡ ਗਿਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਣੀ, ਇਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ? Why do you wear that?
I go to India often, sometimes twice, 3 times a year, and being a chai wala, I like to go in certain cities in India and meet different chai walas on the streets. And 2 years ago I was in Jaipur. I met a lovely wife and husband team, Anil and Jyoti. They were chai walas who had been serving tea on the streets of Jaipur for about 12 years. So it is a family tradition gone down from father to son, and then his son was only 11, yet he was trained how to make the tea and to serve the people of Jaipur. And this hat I took from him. As a
ਮੈਂ
gift.
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਲਈ ਸਰਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਜੈਪੁਰੀ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਦੀ ਹੈਟ ਕਿਉਂ ਪਹਿਨੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ
Well,
ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਕੀ?
that was the first chaiwala I met about 3 years ago. And since then, I've gone to Delhi, Amritsar, Calcutta as well. And whenever I am in India, I always make it a point to go to the streets to see how the chaiwalas make the tea, because there are different varieties of tea from North to South India. In South India, they love to have goat's milk with a lot of sugar. And apne Punjabi people, when I'm in Amritsar, they like the masala tea with sugar as well. So when I went to when I went east to Bihar, they had tea with just coconut milk. So it's a
Really?
huge variety of tea in India, but it's unity of tea which brings all the chaiwalas together. Because in India, apart from tourism, the tea industry is the second biggest sector.
Second biggest, that's why.
Whether you're producing tea on the plantations or whether you're selling tea as a chaiwala. So I am the London chaiwala because I sell tea, and
And you feel proud to say London chai?
I am indeed.
देखो तुसी देख रहे हो screen पर, there's a lot of varieties of tea. By the way, Ravi Soni certainly like especially from well, not only Prabjot mere liye, Harjeet le bhi, our cameraman, he's bought lots of them. There are hundreds of bags he's bought them because I'm in the office. I have not seen so many different types of tea. I didn't even know. वैसे कितने टी
Well,
बैग हैं?
let me tell you something, pal. Let me just give you a quick snapshot of the UK. In the United Kingdom, we drink 165 million cups a day. 96% of the population use tea bags.
165 million.
165 million cups a day, and I drink 10 cups a day myself.
You contribute a big time.
with no sugar. And let me tell you something else. In the UK, 30% people don't take sugar. 70% don't have milk. So it's growing. I mean, people are switching from black tea to green tea to herbal tea, as we can have lemon tea, as you've tried.
Yeah, here I want to ask you a question. Okay, we all know the plant of tea is green,
Yes.
but we having a black.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Like,
So-
you just mentioned
Yeah.
green tea and that
Like I
tea.
say, all tea, whether black or green, comes from the Camellia sinensis plant. Now, when you make black tea, the green leaves are plucked by the celebrity plantation workers, and the tea they pluck is taken to the factory where it undergoes a.
These are the fields of
Yeah,
tea in
these
India.
are the fields of Assam.
Beautiful. Look at
Where
that. Look at that.
it's,
Fantastic.
I mean, having been to one, it's a beautiful, pleasant sight in the morning when you wake up. Yeah,
I can imagine.
So the green tea is placed in a factory where it goes a oxidization process. It's fermented, so the green leaves turn black.
Black.
Okay, which brings me to my next point. In the UK, many people who drink tea from certain brands in supermarkets have a blended mix. So it's a mixture of Kenyan tea, Assam tea.
Sorry, Ravi, I'm interrupting you like I'm seeing on the
Yeah.
screen different types of tea.
Yeah.
You know, English, which is we're going to talk that later on.
Yeah.
The English seems to be the biggest nation tea drinking.
Yeah. No,
But
you're
so-
wrong. It's Ireland. Ireland is the biggest nation of tea
Ireland.
drinking per capita.
You know, I would never think
You
that.
would never think that,
I would
but
never think that.
having been in the tea business for a long time, that is true. Per population, the Irish drink more tea than India and Chinese. Ireland is.
One good question. Living in England for a very long time, and I very much like a tea, crazy about tea. I don't know about the Ireland. This is very educational for me. You know, there is on the screen different
Yeah.
types of tea.
Yeah.
The English don't go into these kind of things. They know only like straight English
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah.
And they like lemon tea, ginger tea.
No, that's happening now.
It's happening now.
Yeah.
So what we saw on there, we just saw bits of many tea now is like fruit tea. It's a herbal tea. So you got different type of fruits like blackcurrants and cherry and melon just being infused with a bit of green tea. So different flavors are coming up. Now the benefit of a green tea is full of less antioxidants, but also it has some drawbacks as well. You can't drink too much. Even though tea has less caffeine than coffee, you should always have not more than 4 cups a
Yeah.
day. But I've been drinking 10 for the past 5 years. I'm okay.
Yeah, okay, so far just yes.
So far, okay,
ਕੀ
yeah.
ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸ਼ੌਂਕ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਾਨ ਵਸਦੀ ਹੈ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ?
Anji, ever since I was a young boy, I used to come home from school. Mummy, can you see dud pilo? I said, nay, I want a cup of tea. I remember from an early age, I always had that passion. And as you go on and on, you focus more on tea. I always had a dream to get to that number plate. Pal, it's nice you showed that photo. It took me 11 years to buy that.
Well, the number plate.
Yeah, it took me 11
But
years to
then
buy
you got a
that.
beautiful car to go with it, you know what?
Yeah, the car was secondary. I bought the car just to write my poems about like my Bentley.
Bentley. Oh my God, would you
Yeah,
believe that?
so that's it. It's always been a passion, but I'm 44, so if you can't enjoy yourself at this age, you know, it's a dream come true. Now I'm enjoying writing about tea and
David,
just
there's again,
drinking
you know,
tea.
it's
ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ
I'm
ਦੇਖ
so
ਸਕਦੇ ਆ,
fascinated.
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
Look at this man sitting next to the car with a tea number plate and expensive car, and he's got some tea boxes on the top, on the bottom there as well.
Yeah. What it is, pal, having sort of selling tea for other people for the last 15 years, I've started to sell masala tea. And living in Hounslow and being the London chaiwala, I've had a huge following on social media. And what happened just 2 weeks ago, I was in the supermarket and somebody said, "Are you the London chaiwala?" I said, "Hang on." I put my hat on and addressed her. Because I always keep 2 in the car. So it's a passion.
Ravi,
It's a hobby.
You got identity by how you wear, the headgear and everything.
Yeah.
And as you said, you walk around in India.
Yeah.
I believe you're quite well known in India. Like.
Well, I think so. Ever since Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister,
Have you met him?
not yet, but I believe when he does come to the UK, I might be serving him tea. Not on the trains, but
I think you'll remind him that.
let's see.
I think you'll remind him.
I understand that he has heard about the London Chaiwala.
Really?
Definitely.
He has heard about it because I have a few.
That's a London
That's a
chai
Well,
London-
wala.
that is me. Yes, that's me. That's my yellow hat, and that's a passion. You know. That's
Ravi,
a passion.
sorry, this is crazy. Like Modi is the Prime Minister of India. Like,
Yeah.
when and if you meet him, he will have his fresh memories. Like one day I was at the railway station selling tea.
Yeah.
And
I
You-
will
you-
say, when I meet Modi, I'll tell him a special poem.
Would you?
A special poem.
You have written special
Yes.
for him.
Modi ji, you're a special person. Here's a little gift. When it's time for a break, Ravi's tea will give you a lift. Yeah, see, I mean, he has done well being in India because everyone knew that he was a chaiwala. So what does that mean? It means in his early days, he helped his father in Gujarat serve tea on the trains, which was no easy task because in those days, anyone who's used to trains know that people do
Yeah.
quickly run on board and, you know.
Ravi,
and,
then, if he said that one day I'll be Prime Minister, people think he's mad,
Yeah.
he's crazy. Question 2, where do you see yourself heading to now?
I see myself heading for another cup of tea. This is number 7 of the day.
Really?
3 more to go. 7 hours to, 18 hours to go. So, yeah.
You have a specific time to take the
Well,
tea,
I
or-
say to you, I've actually worked in the airport for the last 17 years. So you build a routine. I normally start my first cup at 3 o'clock. Second one at 8 o'clock. Then I have a gap till the afternoon. I take 3, 4 together. Then at the home I relax. In the evenings I like the herbal teas, the green teas. Morning I like masala tea. And getting back to 2 other blends which are quite important. Darjeeling tea is one of my favourite blends. This is the class as the champagne of all teas. It's light, it's golden, it's musky. And apparently it's the Queen's favourite blend. So
Really?
the
Can you
Maharani
pass me that,
likes
please?
ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਪਾਲ ਜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ
Definitely.
just
So,
one pack
I'll-
of this costs £5.
This is for £5.
Pal, this is the first flush Darjeeling
I'm
in a
pointing at the
stick.
camera. Hopefully, Hajit will give a closer look to this one. Wow, when you don't unpack the packaging, you just dip that into the
Yeah,
water.
no, you take the plastic off, but
Of
you
course,
dip
of
this in the cup and you let it steep for 2 minutes. No milk, no honey, and that's the first flush Darjeeling. This is sold in exclusive presidents and palaces around the world.
That's the great thing, special
Yeah,
this tea.
as I said to you, there's 1,500 varieties of that beautiful beverage called tea.
Would you believe that?
Would you believe that? It's a passion, it's a hobby, and I can say I'm definitely crazy about tea. You've seen the number plate, so that's a...
Ravi, you know,
Passion.
the tea, you mentioned that there were 100 varieties of tea. Most of them are not consumed with milk or
Yeah. Yeah,
sugar.
yeah.
But then, having tasted the one you just made for us, when we just had one, you don't need sugar, you don't milk with it.
No, I say, pal, you know, like I said, the beauty of tea is it's all subjective. Now, Prabjot might like tea with sugar.
Yeah, it was
I-
delicious.
Tealicious.
Delicious.
I like tea with no sugar. Tea brings people together. Tea you can enjoy by yourself. You know, here's another poem. When the sadness is overwhelming and there's nothing to do, prepare and drink a cup of tea and know my prayers and thoughts are with you. So you can drink tea by yourself, you can enjoy with friends and family. But there's one saying I say, during Diwali, relatives are optional, tea is compulsory. Especially in our household when you have 25 guests. Keep on making tea. So it's a beautiful drink, you know, it's a beautiful beverage.
And as you mentioned, this particular tea
It's
doesn't
worth-
look like a tea bag, it's worth
No.
£5. Is
Yeah,
it?
well, yeah, because, you know, in tea circles, I know, because people are so used to buying supermarket blends, they get used to one brand. So you might just stick to a certain blend from a supermarket. Perhaps you might just like the same tea. But being the London chaiwala, I do taste lots of teas every day. So I was given to this by somebody in India who owns a plantation. So let me put that into context. All the tea that sold in supermarkets are packed by tea workers in his plantation, because plantations in India, as we saw the photo, are huge acres of greenery.
Especially in Assam.
Assam, Darjeeling. In Assam, there's over 520 tea plantations. In Darjeeling, there's 120. And what links the Assam Valley is the Brahmaputra Valley. So the water from there, you know, gives the beauty of the taste of Assamese tea, which is dark, brown, and strong. But it's used in many UK blends, as in PG Tips and other blends, you know. So, yeah, so this, unless you know the tea business, there's different styles of tea. So when the Queen has a garden tea party, she won't be using these samples.
Really?
She'll have special tea made and by the finest tea connoisseurs, tea sommeliers, and they have it served in fine bone china, you know. Whereas in India, where the chaiwalas, we like it in the small cup, you know. So it's a beautiful topic, you know, and it's a passion, it's a hobby.
I'm so crazy about tea. Crazy and a passion are two different things. But this man, I don't know what to call him. Yeah, honestly, when you go for your blood test, what comes out, the blood or the tea? You know?
Well, it's a good question. I go for my blood test, and the nurse knows I'm the chaiwala. She goes, "How many cups of tea have you had today?" I said 9. She goes, "What about the 10th one?" I said, "After the ejection." So, you know, it's a great passion hobby. And sometimes tea also... Here, I just want to say one more poem as well. Sometimes when your loved ones are abroad, i.e. they've gone to India and you're here, sometimes you can just think of them by having a cup of tea, because they might like particular tea and they're not with you. So my next poem is a nice one. It goes like this. Though the miles divide us, I feel you in my heart. So let's have tea together, even though we're apart. Tomorrow morning at 9:15, you brew and drink yours, while I'll be enjoying mine. So sometimes, you know, like my
It's so
one,
nice.
it's so
So
nice.
nice, right?
You can't sort of be with your loved one, but you can use that telepathy with the cup of chai. It does unite people.
ਨੋਟਿਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਹਰ ਵਰਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਿਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਿਟੀ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਟੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਜੋਏ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ। ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
I must say that Prabhjit and ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ arrange ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ going to come as a guest on a breakfast show, and his promise was that I'm going to make you guys a cup of tea. Remember he said that?
Yeah, and he proved it.
And this is delicious. Not delicious, delicious. So
delicious.
maybe the language shuru kar lena.
And
honestly, it's beautiful. Really nice, so refreshing. And it has got no sugar, has got no milk. I don't take my tea with milk all the time, but no sugar.
Yeah.
But this is like very rare occasion to have without sugar and milk.
Yeah.
Lovely.
If I could just say something to all our beautiful guests and viewers at home, that I think as we all grow older, if they try tea with no sugar, they will have the palate and sort of they will take an inkling to it, because sugar does one bad thing, it just turns to fat. So if all our guests can maybe just try to have any tea, even if they're drinking masala tea with no sugar, they might not like it, but they will get used to it slowly.
You
slowly.
build your taste.
Yeah, because I used to. All teas tasty.
Taste
Do you
tea.
get it? But the tea which people don't like to drink is got no sugar in. But I mean, I used to have sugar. I slowly stopped. So
But
Really?
ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਹ different kind ਦੀਆਂ different flavors tea
Yeah.
ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਇਹ already ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚ sugar already
yeah,
ਹੁੰਦੀ
yeah. Like just like the fruit teas, like the one which you had, you don't need to add milk or sugar.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
It is quite nice. And
What flavor was that?
It was
it was lemon. And
Lemon.
Pal, you had lemon and ginger.
Lemon and ginger.
Yeah, and you had lemon.
Okay.
So your next cup is going to be Earl Grey. Now,
That's very famous in the Britain.
it is famous. Now, when you say Britain, I would say worldwide, because the story behind this is this. There was a princess, the Catherine of Braganza. You know, tea, can I just say something about tea when it came into the UK? It came 350 years ago. Catherine Braganza married Charles II. She was a Portuguese princess. At that time, the Portuguese were taking tea from Indian subcontinent and Africa. So in the past 350 years, we can thank that princess for bringing tea in the UK. Prior to that, tea, they say, was first drunk in China in 2737 BC. There was a Chinese emperor called Shen Nung who was sitting.
You remember?
Yeah, he was sitting. He was sitting under a tree like this, just like me. Pretend I'm sitting under a tree. He had a cup of water just like this, and the Camellia sinensis plant, a leaf just fell in his tea. That's how tea was formed 5,000 years ago.
Oh my God! Did that really actually happen?
That actually happened. That's what the textbooks say.
Then started tea.
It started tea. And
Oh, yeah.
also now China and India are 1 and 2 of the world's leading producing tea nations. China with green tea, India with black tea. So the Chinese, they love their tea, and in Japan they love their green tea as well. If you look at Asia now, the passion for green tea and herbal teas is growing, and it's starting to do the same in the UK as well. As you can see, different types. Time for another
ਸਾਡੇ
cup
ਦਰਸ਼ਕ
now.
ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਫੀਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਕੱਪ ਹੋਰ ਚਾਹ ਦਾ ਲੈ ਹੀ ਆਈਏ ਤੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਪਾਲਜੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕਾ
Perhaps to
ਹੈ
break that time, I'm looking forward to that. But honestly, there's another question about tea, about the health. I'm going to talk to you
Yeah.
after the break. You know, Jerry Tushi tea, and I'm really looking forward to another cup after the break. And hope, Ravi, you're going to make us another one?
I will. I'm going to run to the kettle.
Hey?
I'm going to run to the kettle.
one for me as well.
Absolutely.
Chalo, anyway.
A cup of tea a day keeps the doctor away.
You reckon?
Oh, well, today, yes.
My second question is something similar to that one, what you just
Yeah.
said. We'll talk about this after the break, okay?
Okay.
Chalo, you get a chance, Susi apna cha banao. I don't know, I'm sure you haven't got these kind of varieties at home, but I find this very informative, very educational. Cha bare, health bare se gal karenge after the break.
Break ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ
And
ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਫਿਰ।
cha to baad tusi apna cup rakhe ho, assi hun der abhi banange sadly we'll see you after the break. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh. Welcome back to the second part. I've got my cup of tea. Thank you very much, Ravi. And I'm sure to Nuvi Mokha Lagana cha bana ke tusi baithe ho. Please keep watching us. Another 25 minutes to go. You'll pick up some interesting points.
ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ ਕੱਪ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਹਰ ਸ਼ਨੀਵਾਰ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਵਾਂ ਥਾਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅੱਜ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਥਾਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਮਹੱਤਵ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਆ। Never get hurt when God takes something off from your hands. It's sure that He is leaving you empty-handed to receive something better. ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਖੋਹ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਅਫਸੋਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਚੰਗਾ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਲਈ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਉਸ ਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਕੋਈ ਮਾੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਦੁੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਰਿਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੇਟਰ ਔਨ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਤੇ ਹੋਪ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸੱਚ ਦੇ ਥਾਟ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਅਪਣਾਓਗੇ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਦੋਸ਼ ਰੱਬ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਹਾਂਜੀ ਪਾਲ ਜੀ,
ਬਹੁਤ ਸਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਇਟ ਸਾਊਂਡਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਸਿੰਪਲ। ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੱਥ ਦਾ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਇਟ ਡਸਨਟ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਮੀਨ ਕਿ ਹੱਥ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਲਾਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਜੀ ਕੰਪਰੋਮਾਈਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਭਲੇ ਲਈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਕਿ ਭਲੇ ਲਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਵੀ ਡੋਂਟ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਭਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
ਜਦੋਂ ਭਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੁਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਓਕੇ ਦੈਟਸ ਵਾਈ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ।
ਇਕਬਾਲ ਜੀ, ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਤੇ ਯਕੀਨ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਜੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਕੁਝ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੋਵੇ। ਉਮੀਦ
ਰੱਖਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ, ਐਵਰੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਉਮੀਦ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਬੜੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਵੈਰੀ ਨਾਈਸ। ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਰਵੀ, ਵੈਸੇ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਫਰਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਸਾਡਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਦਾ ਨੋਰਮਲੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਨਾਲ ਫਿੱਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, but this one is bit away from what we're talking about.
Yeah.
What would you like to say about that?
ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਵੀ ਕਦੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਚਾਂਸ ਆਇਆ, ਕੋਈ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਥੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ
you lost something and then yeah, just like I lost some tea bags. I was going on the trip to Birmingham, and I always take my own tea. And I got to the hotel. I never use the hotel tea bags. I left my pack in my home.
That's the most important
thing, especially because it's the evening where I take 3 cups of tea between 6 and 10.
I know to talk to my viewers. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਬੜਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਬੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ, ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਬੁਰਾ, ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਹੋਇਆ। ਸਾਰਾ ਦੋਸਤ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਕ੍ਰੇਜ਼ੀਨੈਸ ਇੰਨੀ ਕ੍ਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਟੀ ਬੈਗ ਲੂਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ,
I tell you something else, pal. When I bought the number plate, I went on the BBC Asian network radio, Asian station. They rang me up and said, "You must be the UK's craziest person on tea."
You are.
I said, "I am. I've just spent £25,000 on that number plate, which I bought in April 2012, and it's over 6 digits now, but I'm not selling. So it's a passion, it's a hobby, and this tea represents, my life story, my tea-rific journey from tea boy to tea man,
One thing
since I had my first cup at age 7, I dreamt of owning a tea company.
Ravi, about the number plate, one thing we discussed off the air, I hope you don't mind, and share it with our viewers.
Yes.
How did you tell your wife what you done?
Well, the funny thing was, I didn't tell her until this bank statement came through, and my wife said, "It looks like someone's taken £20,000. I said, "Hang on, let me have a look." When you buy a number plate in the UK, you can't transfer straight away. It goes on retention before your old plate comes off. I said, "Don't worry, I'll look into this." As I said, and I said, I calmed her down with a cup of tea. She goes, "I don't want a cup of tea. I want the 20,000. But that's history. Now she's happy, and the value has gone up 6 times. So I will never sell. It's my mark of achievement to get this. I waited 14 years. I was after this plate since 2005, and with God's blessings, with why good his blessings, I was fortunate to bid £18,000 on the 11th of April 2012. I think somebody went up to £22,000 by April the 14th 2012, and then on April the 17th I put in for 25,000, and I thought that was quite low. I mean, bearing in mind I didn't have the money, I still work in the airport, and
That's
with,
ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ next question ਪੁੱਛਣਾ I was going
Yes.
to ask you ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ fashion ਆ is it sometimes ਇਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਕੁਝ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣਾ passion ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ profession ਬਣਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ?
I think so. I think what's happening now is, being the London Chaiwala, I used to sell tea for another company for many years, which I continue to do,
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
and I also make masala tea, which
Is it typical
it's
Indian tea?
typical. Yeah, it's a blend of cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and black pepper. And if they YouTube London Chaiwala, you can see my poems there as well. And all masala tea has Assam tea in, because it's the most strong, robust black tea. And as a Chaiwala, it's
Ravi, I need to ask
going
you
well.
a question. Before I
Yes.
ask you a question, I need to share.
Did you know, pal, in the UK, most companies have tea breaks.
Yes.
And do you know this statistic? Tea breaks are not used for having a cup, but to talk about office gossip.
Because
That's statistically.
that's an excuse, that is.
That's an excuse, yeah.
Okay, the question, before I ask you a question, I need to share this with my viewers. See, every time Jadon Chai Pine, we feel, maybe lack of knowledge, maybe this is true, I don't know, that body chai pini sahi nahi hundi, sehat li kharab hundi hai. Mera question bhi aega, Sade Ravino, before asking a question, the amount of cups he drink is done no harm to this man. He's so hilarious, he's so funny.
Yeah, well-
He's so cool. Sare no ਵੱਡਾ ਦਾ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਚ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ the tea bag watch ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ. I'm going to start drinking tea like him. He does it. Honestly, man, to get my worries away. And all the worries about the tea bags.
Yeah.
Coming back to this, tell me, is it harmful?
Well, according to the UK Tea Council, they say the maximum number of cups you drink a day, whether green or black, should be 4. Okay.
Really?
Remember, tea has less caffeine than coffee, but it's all in limitation. I don't take alcohol. I avoid fatty foods. I don't take sugar. So I have had 10 cups for many number of years. Sometimes it's 8, but not more than 10. But definitely not less than 8. So for me, it's done well. It's all in proportion, pal. If you have, let's say, if you're constantly having sugar into tea, that's wrong. But there's a nice selection of teas in the market, lemon, ginger, black currant, green, oolong tea as well. Oolong is a Chinese specialty tea, which is smoked first, which is quite nice.
Are we talking about the health-wise now, the tea, consumption of tea? What is antioxidant?
Okay.
And does the tea bags contain that?
Well, it depends. Like green tea hasn't, and black tea has. But also one benefit is with teas, it's got fluoride in, so it's good for your teeth. So yes, generally the health benefits of tea are capped to 4 per day, not more than that. But I've been doing it for a number of years, so it's okay because I'm not having sugar, I'm not having any honey. It's with the herbal teas, it's just herbal. With black tea, it's just milk.
They're already ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ sweet ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ.
Yeah, well, it's all in proportion. So it's like whether you eat meat constantly, that's not good. But if your body becomes immune to it, and trust me, you probably had 3 or 4 today yourselves, am I right?
Yeah,
So
our morning starting with the tea and the end with the
So
tea.
an extra 4 wouldn't go amiss. I mean, Pal probably might have the odd beer after tea. I just have.
I drink at least 10 cups a day.
Do
minimum,
you?
At least 10.
Really,
Well,
it's quite low.
are you?
Is it not harmful then for your body?
Are you?
Funny
are
you
you
say
dreaming
that.
of becoming a chaiwala?
Funny you say that, Jyot. After the cups, how many cups of tea he drinks?
Yeah,
And
the same
if I can become like him, I'll keep drinking 10 cups today, honestly. He's so funny, he's so hilarious, he's so cool.
ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਪਾਲ ਜੀ ਆਫਿਸ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੈਟਲ ਔਨ ਕਰ ਲਾ, ਫਟਾਫਟ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਚਾਹ ਦਾ ਕੱਪ ਬਣਾ ਦੇ, ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ ਬਗੈਰ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ। ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਟਾਰਟਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਚਾਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ।
Prabjot, both right. ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫੈਕਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, because it makes my day. You agree with that?
Yes, it does. It
Yeah?
starts your day well, and it ends your day well as well.
The funny thing is, one thing I stopped doing, like when I was working with the English people, with the English companies, and after one I used to say, Come on, cup of tea, yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you rub your hands and you ask, let's go for a cup of tea?
I think that's
It's a tradition.
It's a tradition during when there was World War II. There was a shortage of tea. The soldiers used to do this, and they used to ask for tea. And in those days, tea was made in a barrel, and they used to pour like that.
But did you know that?
No, I never.
This is an English tradition. That just we break, when we talking about the break,
Yeah.
normally gossip, no, like a tea break we have there.
Absolutely.
And
It's
when
called
they,
tea break.
when they work on the table, they sit together. The first thing he gets up, English man says,
Do the gossip.
Paul, come, let's have
And,
a cup of
uh,
tea. You know, they rub their hands and they're so excited. कि जो पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है.
Yeah, this is
I've,
the
uh,
sign of excitement.
I've dedicated a beautiful poem for Prabhjot.
Oh.
It goes like this. You are like a flower growing in beauty. Nature has its own way, making you uniquely. These beautiful red and white flowers remind me of your fresh and delightful face. Your face can be compared with natural grace.
It's so nice. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Pleasure.
Tushina, you sit here, you talk, and you become
With a cup of tea in my hand.
You know what? I think the
Do
way
you know, pal, in my Bentley I have a portable kettle which I plug in the electric lighter. I keep mineral water in the back. In my boot I have a selection of tea bags. So when I'm tired of driving, I will pull up wherever there's space and brew myself a cup of tea.
I
Isn't
think
that,
I need to tell my viewers again. Sada Maqsad Jado breakfast upar aise different guests like I met Ravi for a little while ago, a few years ago, and very fortunate we met again after a long time. You know, the way he is, the way he meets you, the way he talks. I was wondering whether as the personality hegi being so happy all the time. This guy has got no grudges, he got no enemies. He's full of life, he's full of friends. Has the tea done to him?
I must correct you, I'm a graduate. I did graduate in 1994. But the best journey of life is the work of life. And I've had a lot of cups of teas in my lifetime, and you can still continue to learn. I still hope to go to certain parts of India where I haven't met chaiwalas. Like in Kashmir, they drink purple tea. Could you imagine drinking purple tea? So, you know, you still have dreams and aspirations to meet different cultures. And in Argentina, do you know what tea they drink? Take a guess.
साढ़े दर्शक भी जाना
Okay,
चाहेंगे।
they actually have cabbage tea.
Cabbage
They
tea.
boil the cabbage and they make tea. So it's the beauty of tea.
Vegetable tea.
It's all subjective, different cultures, we appreciate that. And we're so used to masala tea that hopefully our guests and yourselves can maybe try another cup today, tomorrow. Not 10 cups as I do, but just walk across the supermarket shelf.
Sorry,
you
Ravi,
know.
I've got a picture there. Tell me what's going on here.
Yeah, what's happening here in this photo? So they've picked the tea leaves now, and before it goes on the tray, this is black tea. It looks like this is China. This is going to be stashed in a warehouse where it's going to go to fermentation process, and it will be called out to sell. You know, sent to supermarkets and
Ravi, you know
factories.
so much about tea. You got so much passion and you're crazy about tea. Have you had a chance to actually visit the factories where they actually has been processed?
I have, yes, I have actually been to Assam, many tea gardens. I've been to one tea garden in Assam, in the same plantation. It's like a kind of a small mini complex. They have the tea picking there, they have the factory there, and many of the workers live in the compound there. I don't know whether you've got a shot, but many workers, tea pluckers, they work from dawn till dusk.
Really?
They put wicker baskets on their head and they pluck the leaves.
Sorry, Ravi, this is the machinery they...
Yeah, this is the machine they put the leaves in, and then it rolls out there, and then it's packed into packs and everything, you know.
Ravi, this is so fascinating. I think some people might find this boring, but the people who love tea, it's very interesting to know the bad effects and the good effects about tea. Please don't take me on my words.
Yeah.
You always refer your doctor.
Yeah.
It all depends on your intake of body.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I can easily take 10 cups a day, so it's done me no harm so far.
Well, no, like I say, the guidelines for the Tea Council say 4 cups per day.
ਮੈਂ
But,
ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਬਲੈਕ ਟੀ ਹੀ ਪੀਣੀ ਹੈ। ਬਲੈਕ ਟੀ ਹਾਰਮਫੁਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗ੍ਰੀਨ ਟੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਲੈਮਨ ਟੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ।
Sorry, what's this, Ravi?
Yeah, this is just tea leaves. This is the whole leaf.
Whole leaf.
So when you make masala tea, like this looks like Assamese tea, they mix it in with herbs like cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, cloves and black pepper, and you put a spoonful in the patilla. As the patilla rises, you can put your milk in. So you know, it's just beautiful tea. But most people prefer tea bags. 96% of the UK population just like to do this, put the water in. That's my number 7 of the day, by the way.
You got to wait until we finish the show, then you can have some kettle boiling
Absolutely,
again, yeah.
absolutely. But I'm just describing the ease at which tea bag is for everyday use, because you know, whilst you like to have masala tea in the morning during guests come,
But
you
Joe,
need a pan and
I
everything.
found that very educational or interesting history. Which good question ke cha kitho start hui.
ਹਾਂਜੀ
And you're saying this guy in China was
Yeah,
sitting
he
there,
was the emperor.
and, and the leaf fell down. in
Leaf
his
fell
cup.
down from the Camellia sinensis plant. It landed in hot water, and then as the emperor said, "This tastes nice," his advisor said, "Cha." Chai comes from the Chinese word cha.
Oh, okay.
So that's how it started, and then that's where we are today, you know. And
Who is the largest producer of tea? Because I got something different in my mind. I'll tell you in a minute, but I would
yeah,
like
well,
you
the largest producer, I think, of the black tea is India.
Black tea.
And green tea is China. India makes 1.9 million tons of black tea, which includes the Assam, Darjeelings and Nilgiri. Nilgiri is in South India. And China produces 1.7 million tons of green tea, which they export, mainly in the Fujian province of China. So China and India, they're both big they export, I think, 15% of their annual output to world markets. They also drink a lot in those respective countries. The Chinese are huge drinkers of green tea. In South India, they started to drink green tea, but generally Indians like black tea, masala. They have no other tea. I mean, you wouldn't get Earl Grey in India.
I would never think in my wildest dream that Irish is the number one tea drinking nation.
They
I
are.
would put Britain,
No.
honestly.
No, it is Ireland. Per capita, per population, per head, the Irish drink more. I mean, they drink, I think, 5.7 cups per person. We drink 4 cups per person, on average per day.
average.
In the morning, in the afternoon, evening and night. So if you look at their population, Ireland is the largest consuming nation of tea. And it's a fascinating topic to go on about tea. And
ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਿਰਫ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਹੀ ਸੀਮਤ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ
well, this is it. I have one son called Aditya Soni. If he's watching, I hope he is. He doesn't like tea. He doesn't like tea at all. But my wife is called Deep Tea, but I call her Deep Tea. She likes tea, and she does like tea. My mum loves tea. My mum hosts when people come and meet me, because I'm known as London Chaiwala. My mum's quite quick to put the kettle on and or put the pan on, and she does make tea for my guests. Her name is Mrs. Sarita Soni. She came from Amritsar.
Sarita?
Mrs. Sarita Soni.
Mrs. Sarita Soni.
So big namaste, sat shri akal to
I
my
must
mother
say,
Sarita.
Sarita Soninu, I had the pleasure of meeting your mother the other day.
Yes.
And she's a lovely lady, and you got a lovely son, crazy son.
Well,
you know, I don't know what to call him, but London Chaiwala is the right
that's
word.
right. And she came from Amritsar. My late father, Om Prakash Soni, he was from Hoshiarpur. So we are Hindu Punjabi, and whenever I go back home to Amritsar and I'm with my cousin, they're a bit surprised, like, I make tea. I take my own tea bags, and so that passion is with me wherever I go, whether I'm in India or London, whether I'm in the Bentley or
It's always with you.
in the kitchen, you know.
Ravi, we got 4 minutes to go. We got some other things to talk
Yes.
as well.
Can I end with a poem
no,
for you?
End with the poem.
Yes.
At the same time, I would like to look at the camera
Yeah.
and read the poem for my viewers.
Okay. This is, I'm going to take my hat off for this poem and say a cup of tea to say thank you for all the things you've done and blessings that tomorrow will bring you. Family, happiness and fun. Sat Shri Akal.
Very
Thank
nice.
you very much.
Very
Thank you.
good. And again, I keep saying...
I have got hair. As many guests do ask me on social media.
You know, I think personally myself, and you'll agree, I think I prefer you with the hair because that's your
Yes.
identity.
It
you know
is,
that.
it is.
Actually.
This is my profile, this is my identity.
Identity.
Identity. Again,
Exactly.
eh?
So I'm known as the London Chaiwala.
London
So
Chaiwala.
hopefully I will remain a Chaiwala. Maybe one day I might start and progress a business, let's see.
I think drinking
Yeah.
tea, I'm not saying whether it's harmful, whether it's good for you. Somebody become a Prime Minister of India, somebody drives a very expensive car with a very expensive number plate. I've not seen tea doing any harm.
No, it can be joy.
ਇੱਕ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਇੱਕ ਮੋਦੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਚਾਹ ਵੇਚਣ ਵਾਲਾ
Yeah.
ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਬਣ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ
That's it.
ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਸਾਡੇ
No,
ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦੇ
I,
ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦੇ
I
ਸਾਹਮਣੇ
have a dream, Prabhjot and Pali, to go to Southall railway station as Modi did in Godra and start to serve tea. Maybe I could be elected as an MP.
Anyway, I'll talk to Ravi. Thank you, Honikal. It's a good idea. Somebody will, I'm sure, Jerry, as the interview sister must have given you good ideas. By the way, I must say about the London studio, Pehla sada har dafa nishe khulda hunda. We'll be opening on Monday, Wednesday and Friday between 11 and 3 o'clock. Please, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ inquiry ਹੋਵੇ, if you want to come and do a show, if you want to become as a guest, if you got anything as a guest you would think you want to come and talk to us, please give us a call on 0208 573 1717.
ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਸੁਜੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣਾ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਫਾਸਟ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਪਾਂਸਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਇਸ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਫਾਸਟ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਪਾਲ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਫੋਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਐਨੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਮੰਡੇ ਵੈਨਸਡੇ ਔਰ ਫਰਾਈਡੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ
Prabhjit, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੜੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਹੈ ਲੰਡਨ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਨੀਡ ਟੂ ਬ੍ਰਿੰਗ ਇਟ ਟੂ ਲਾਈਫ ਇਨ ਅ ਸੈਂਸ ਔਰ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਬਰਮਿੰਘਮ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਬੜੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਟੀਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਾਈਕ ਮਾਈਸੈਲਫ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੈਮਰਾਮੈਨ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਨਿੱਜਰ ਦੋ ਚਾਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਖਿੱਚੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ I would prefer more people to come forward to do the shows, to do present the shows, come as a guest would be very nice. ਸਾਡਾ ਲੋਕਲ ਏਰੀਆ ਹੈਗਾ and I want to keep this London studio running. I hope we don't end up into any financial problem. ਤੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ
ਸਾਡੇ
ਦੇਣਾ
ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ ਹੋਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਰਹੋਗੇ
ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੁਬਈ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਕੱਲ ਸੰਡੇ ਹਾਪਾ 6 ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਦੁਬਈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਨਾ ਭੁੱਲਿਓ ਆਖਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਵੀ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਫॉर ਕਮਿੰਗ ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਅ ਪਲੇਜ਼ਰ ਟੂ ਹੈਵ ਯੂ ਇਨ ਅ ਸ਼ੋ
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ
you.
ਫਰਮ ਦ ਸਿਕਸ ਚੈਨਲ
Yeah.
ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿਊਅਰਸ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ
It's my pleasure as well.
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ
ਬਸ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਾਅਦੇ ਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਿਕ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਸੈਟਰਡੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਕੋਈ ਅੱਛੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਬ ਤੱਕ ਰੱਬ
ਲੈ
ਰੱਖਾ
ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ
ਤਬ ਤੱਕ ਰੱਬ ਰੱਖਾ
ਤਦ
ਆਪਾਂ
ਤੱਕ ਰੱਬ
ਪਰਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਲਈਏ
ਰੱਖਾ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਜੀ ਅਗਲੇ ਸ਼ਨੀਵਾਰ ਫੇਰ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ